Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. It's going to be a great show today. We got Jake Ellenberger, the juggernaut, the UFC legend, with us. The guy with victories over Jake Shields, over Jay Herman, over Nate Marquardt. You think Shields was your biggest win?
I mean, one of them for sure. You know, Diego Sanchez. There's a handful. I mean, Pele, small show, but we'll see. You know, there's that one really catapulted me. You know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We also have Greg Romero Wilson, who's on a new show that got picked up right on Amazon. What is this on Netflix? You were posting about it. Some new show that I was on Facebook. It's like it was a really big show.
Well, it's on ABC. It's called United We Fall. Yes. It hasn't been picked up yet, but I mean, it's been number one in its time slot for 2 weeks in a row now. So, which is, I mean, that's as good as you can hope for. That's as good as you can hope for a show that just came out. So hopefully that sticks, and you know, and then we see another season.
And what's your character?
I play the main gal, Christina Vidal. She has several brothers, and I'm one of them.
Nice. There we go. And then Ween Dog, the man, the myth, the legend, a guy who's now becoming the Joe Perez show. Actually, no longer Ween Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm still a Ween Dog, but, you know, I have many different characters that I do. Joe Perez is just some character I made up. Who,
got it.
Incel.
Who shares your name and face and,
yes, exactly.
and voice.
Yes, exactly.
You know, a character. See, it seems like Ween Dog should be the character. And Joe Perez.
Well, unfortunately, Ween Dog has a lot more realness to him than my real human person thing.
That's very scary. Okay, so anyway, we got a great show. I want to thank our sponsors, Speed Weed. Marijuana is legal in California. Okay, get it delivered right to you. I got a gnat like right there. Speedweed.com. Check them out. Speedweed, they're good people. Gino's the man, the myth, the legend. Just great guy. Everything. I haven't had sex without THC sex lube in a very long time. And it's, you know, I highly recommend it. So we got supposedly Phil Baroni. He says he doesn't have a phone anymore, but he's gonna try to get on. He's gonna try to get on the podcast at 12:30.
Is he gonna get on the podcast?
I don't know. He's going to borrow someone's phone, but he's doing well. He's got a fight.
I hope he does. I mean, I hope he does. It's just so funny.
He's headlining a bare knuckle boxing card in September. He's fighting Thiago Alves on the same card that Kendall Grove is fighting Hector Lombard on this bare knuckle boxing.
So, hey, listen, we wanted a senior division in the UFC, and apparently that they have swooped in and made that happen in bare knuckle.
Hey, I'm going to watch that in a heartbeat. I'm more excited about that card than a lot of cards out there. Also, John Wood. John Wood, very amazing trainer, was a fighter who trains – he owns Syndicate Gym. He's going to be calling in. He also just got COVID. So I want to ask him what that was like because he was supposed to be quartering a guy in the LFA, and him and the fighter both pulled out because Wood got COVID. So I know his girlfriend / top dog JoJo Calderwood is fighting this week in the UFC in Las Vegas. So I'll talk about that. So Jennifer Maia. Meanwhile, I did a show last Friday, a Zoom show. I do these Zoom shows, and the thing about Zoom shows, one of the good things about it is that you can get people from all over the world that wouldn't necessarily come to a show. You know, I could talk to my friend in Florida, my friend in England, Australia. You know. The hard part is that no one's coming unless I personally ask them. So that could
for sure.
That could be hard. Even like posting something on Instagram or Facebook doesn't do what it did once back in the day. I mean, I have to personally like gather in the troops. But there was a person on the show last week who showed up in all camouflage. Like he was like I thought maybe he's in the military, you know. But then he was wearing.
Was it Joe Perez?
But then he was wearing. He had a microphone and a Supreme hat, so I'm like, okay, this is not I'm the military. So I was like, sir, are you in the military? He holds up a machine gun, and it was like a legit machine gun. Wow. But he's like, no. So he was just there watching the show. So some guy with a machine gun in full-on camouflage, and he was actually a good audience member. But I was very concerned as to what the hell was going on. I kept calling him Antifa and this and that.
Well, I was going to say, it's nice to know what the federal police are doing on their lunch breaks. They're watching your stand-up show on Zoom.
Laugh, you know?
Between pummeling protesters in Portland, they take a break to enjoy a little Adam Hunter comedy.
Now, Jake, you're in the National Guard, right?
No, I was in the Marines. Yeah.
You were in the Marines. Were you worried about them calling you in? Are you about? Are you like on call if like they call you for?
No. My time's up. No, yeah. When you reserve, I mean, it's if they need your job, your MOS, then. Yeah. My brother got deployed. Adam, my older brother, he was in the Marines. We were in the same unit, but they needed a lot of his job, so he attached. You know, he activated to another unit, went to Iraq in 2005. So.
Wow. How hard was boot camp?
You know, I mean, it's a lot at once. You know, physically, not that hard. But, you know, when you're every day, it's like you're waking up at 3:30, 4. It's a lifestyle change, man. Like when you're 18 or 19 and you go through boot camp, it's just like, holy shit. It's a lot at once, you know. But it's physically not that hard, but it'll wear
for you it wasn't physically that hard. I think if me or Joe went, it might be more of an adjustment than it sounds like it was for you.
Yeah.
By the way, let's talk about that because you know I've been doing this fight camp. By the way, I swear by it. It's getting me in the best shape I've been in since my early 20s. You know, they give you a new workout every day on this app. You know, 10 rounds of like sparring, kickboxing, plus. But I know if I don't go before 1 or 2 in the afternoon, that's all I'm thinking about. Like my whole day in the back of my head is like, I gotta work out. It's taking such a big space in my head that like I have to go get out of the way. Jake, as a retired fighter, you're in really good shape. Is that because you're planning on possibly making a comeback? And how are you staying in such good shape?
Well, I mean, I just love training, to be honest. I don't have any plans now to fight, but it's kind of, you know, over the years you train so much it becomes like a routine. You know what I mean? I love working out. You know, you obviously love the way it makes you feel, the way it makes you look, but no, for me too. I'm a guy like I gotta do it in the morning. So typically I work out in the morning, and it's like you just, you know, your day, you feel better, that whole thing. But no, I mean, it's one of those things. It's just kind of ingrained a little bit in you.
What are you walking around at right now?
200.
Now, do you step on a scale and get mad if you're, because since I was 19 years old, if I step on a scale and I'm heavy, I'm like ruined. Like it just fucks up my whole. I think it's because of my eating disorder back in my wrestling days. Do you still have that at all or no?
No. I mean, and even now, like I don't even care. I don't care what I weigh. You know, I'm kind of weird though. I'm an ingredient reader, so I'll read like ingredients and shit. So if there's like fake sugar, genetically modified shit, you know, there's stuff I won't eat. But but I don't care what I weigh. I don't give a fuck. But
Greg, how are you staying in shape during the pandemic?
You can see the results for yourself. And the worst part is I'm trying. This is me trying. That's what's fucking horrible about this.
But you went for a bike ride. Aren't you going for a bike ride?
I do. I went for a bike ride this morning. That's my main thing is I wish I could run. The one thing that really worked for me in terms of weight loss was running. But then I got in a car accident and now I can't run no more because it jacks up my back like a motherfucker. Yeah. So, and it ruins it for like several days. Like then I can't do anything for several days.
But
so
I have to find something. A lot of the roles you get are like funny, chubby, short guy roles.
And that's the thing. I worry about losing those roles. Like if I lost weight, would there be other roles for me? Or do I lose the one that I've been doing right?
The next Avenger in a Marvel film.
Dude, that really happens a lot, is that guys who are like funny and chubby.
Yeah, they lose weight.
And like, I mean, Jonah Hill's like the only guy who kind of pulled it off. But like, I liked him a lot better as the fat kid in Superbad.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's because a lot of times they also stop being funny, and I have no intention of stopping funny just because I'm not fat anymore. Right. You know, I like to think that. But most of the guys that lose weight, and they're like, "All right, take me seriously now. I'm a skinny, serious actor now." It's like just keep being funny. That's what you're good at.
Ween Dog, you got your blue belt. You said it was the happiest day of your life.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo wrapped it around your waist. You actually cried, right?
I was in tears, and everybody was laughing at me and calling me names and spitting on me. It was the happiest moment of my life.
And you haven't been back since?
No, I've definitely been back, just not that much. And then the pandemic hit, so I definitely haven't been back. I do plan on training again very soon because I'm feeling better with my back. I'm having no back issues. I even contacted our friend Vince Pichel, to go train with him and help him train for his next fight. So things are getting pretty serious over here.
You volunteered to train with Vince in case Vince needed a light snack before actually someone to train with.
What did Vince say when you offered to help him train for his next fight?
He said that he would beat the shit out of me, but I'm welcome at the gym anytime. And I am very, very excited to go.
Now, Jake, wasn't there a story you told me of a guy that was like a college wrestling champ that was like some office guy that was like, no way Jake Ellenberger can beat me, and you went into his garage to fight him?
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, actually, it was at the gym when Rain Training Center was around. He was a stud wrestler, and he was betting. So everybody at his work, he was betting, there's no way Jake could take me down. He won't beat me in a wrestling match, no chance. And so it was funny because, like, we have mutual friends, and he was betting these guys like $100 each. No way he takes me down. And like, so I go to this is at Rain, by the way, Munoz's gym, years ago, and a couple of my buddies, Nick Jordan, Matt Lopez, a few of them guys are like, they the guy comes in and they're like, if this guy beats you, we're never talking to you again. So it was funny, but yeah, we had a good scrap. But I don't like to like make people just look silly. I mean I took him down pretty easily a few times, but I don't want to just embarrass him in front of his friends. But it was like, bro, you're wrestling is wrestling, but
people forget though. Like, I mean, I wrestled like, I was a stud wrestler in high school, but you
were the 8th grade New England champ.
But I forget that it was 25 years ago. Like, because in my mind it was last week. It was literally 25 years ago. Like, I've been alive a lot longer not wrestling than I have when I was wrestling. I think that people sometimes forget, how long ago they were in shape. You
mean like Mike Tyson?
No, like that, when I trained with Mitch Clark, I'm like, he brought me in to wrestle with him. Mitch Clark was in the UFC, and I was like, oh, I'll be, and I did okay, but I didn't take him down. And Mitch Clark was not known for his wrestling. But when you're in there every day training with high-level guys, and somebody just comes in who hasn't wrestled in 10 years, I don't care who they are. They're not going to do very well unless you're like, guys, Jordan Burroughs or something. But then it's different. But for the average high school stud.
And you got to keep in mind, too, with wrestling, it's so much of it is timing, timing and feel. And it's like once you take a few years or a couple years and, you haven't wrestled and you go against somebody who's been wrestling, who just is doing it consistently, it's like their timing's on. It's tough.
How many times, like at all the gyms that you've been in, how many times have you seen guys coming off the street and try to test the pros and just get fucking murdered?
Like when guys come in that are just like wrestlers or just anybody?
Anybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen it quite a bit, but I'll tell you a few guys that would come into Kings, and like even guys that were pretty good, they would come in, but they would line step, man. They would try to put, like, for Verdum, for example. So I've seen more than a few guys go hard with Verdum. So one time I was sparring with Cordero, and we're technical sparring, and this one of the guys who came in actually from Vegas, funny enough, I don't remember his name, but he was pretty good fighter, and he's getting the better of Verdum, and he starts like turning it up, and me and Master kind of look at each other like, ooh, this is gonna
it's not gonna end well.
Yeah. And I mean, like, 30 seconds later, Verdum just throws a knee, busts his nose.
Oh,
yeah, it's like,
this guy was a pro fighter.
Yeah, pro fighter.
Who was it? Who was it?
I actually don't remember his name, to be honest. I really don't. But he was good. Like he was, you know, one of those, I don't know, 7-1, 8-1 kind of guys, but a good pro fighter. But you know, it's one of those things though, like you know what you're getting into, especially when you're sparring. It's like, especially at Kings, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna spar at your, you know, you kind of know what you're getting into. So it's like, but yeah, when these guys try to turn it up and get
as a comic, Greg, there's nothing better as a comic than seeing an actor or a YouTube star or a big podcast star coming into a room that is not his room, that he didn't sell tickets to, and having to follow Greg Wilson or whoever and just get buried. I mean, because you just see you see them like the inner mind of like, wait, why isn't this working? Like what?
Yeah.
Like, fuck? Like,
and it's not even about them getting buried. It's just about them being way out of their depth. And, you know, watching that bravado just slowly make its way down to the bottom as the set goes on. They feel that, talk about the theory of relativity, time gets real slow when you're up there and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And for us, it is a pure joy to watch.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, you're also watching somebody, and then they blame the crowd, or they say "fuck you," or the crowd sucks, or this or that. Just especially with like black crowds, oof, because they'll be like, "Get off the stage," or "You suck." Plus, we've all bombed. Everyone's bombed. I don't care who you are.
Oh yeah, that's part of the process.
Yeah. But when someone comes in having home field advantage their entire life, and all of a sudden it's no longer, you're like, So, by the way, Jake, I got to ask you a question about parenting. So my kid's 2 years old, right? I'm trying to potty train her. So far, she just poops herself and goes, new diaper. That's her way of potty training. How old were your kids when you potty train them?
Yeah, between 2 and 3. So.
Did you do it or did your wife do it?
Both. But I mean, it's tough because you got to be consistent. There's a lot of accidents. But even for boys, it's a little easier because boys, you know, they can just go out back. You're like, all right, you know, the problem is now, you know, they
just go out back. You know, you got to send them out to the pissing stump.
Yeah. But yeah, then it's like when your son's peeing in the driveway in front of your neighbors, you're like, ooh.
You send him to the front yard, not the backyard.
Yeah, well, it's usually the backyard, but.
But sometimes he's outside.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got the little potty. It just takes time.
Our neighbor kid is always with his dick fucking peeing everywhere. I'm like, this is a little strange. You know, like it's just like, is this part of the block?
17 or what?
Yeah, he's 40. By the way, my wife's birthday is coming up, right? And I'm like, it's her 30th birthday. I'm like, babe, what do you want? She's like sending me like, you know, necklace. She goes, or, you know, I love those new treadmills that they have. I might get a treadmill, right? But I can't tell anyone I got my wife a treadmill for her birthday. Like I'll be the biggest asshole out there. Like, what'd you get for your wife? A treadmill? You know, like, but that's what she's asking for.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's how you got to say it. You got to go, I gave her exactly what she asked.
Like I left it up to her.
I mean, what am I gonna? I mean, I might as well say a broom. You know.
Yeah, you can't. When you can't just open with, oh yeah, I got her. Let's see. Oh, she had a huge birthday. I got her treadmill, Weight Watchers membership.
A vacuum.
What the fuck am I gonna say? But that's what she wants.
Waxing. She got a certificate for waxing.
You know, a token for one threesome with her friend. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, let's talk about some fights. All right, so Darren Till versus Whitaker, right? So now, call me crazy. I thought Till won this fight.
You're crazy.
I had it 2-2 going into the fifth, and I thought he landed more in the fifth. I mean, Whitaker had a takedown, but it didn't do any damage. Maybe I wasn't paying as attention to that. I had Whitaker winning the. Till hurt him. Definitely hurt him more than Whitaker hurt him, aside from the leg kicks. But you guys all thought Whitaker won?
Wasn't it a unanimous decision too? I don't think it was a split card.
Yeah, it was unanimous. Yeah, but
I thought it was exactly what they said it was. It was 3-2. I thought definitively so. I didn't think it was. I didn't think Till did enough in the fifth. I thought it was definitely Robert Whitaker's round.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good fight. I think it was competitive. I think Till's always he's been a great fighter, but I think he needs to start off a little quicker. You know what I mean? Even in the first round, he hurt him. He almost, you know, I wouldn't say he got him out of there, but he definitely hurt him in the first round. I think if he could put it on, you know, if you can put it on a guy first 2 rounds or even 3, you know, then guys are trying to play catch up. But yeah, I mean, I had it for Whitaker, but it was a very competitive fight.
I feel like in this fight, though, because of where they were standing, Till's status rose up and Whitaker's went down, even in the loss and the win. Because this was supposed to be like kind of not a gimme fight for Whitaker, but Whitaker at one point was untouchable. I mean, he was running through everybody, and he beat Romero twice. And Till's a guy that lost 2 out of 3, possibly. I mean, had been knocked out cold. So I feel like
winning.
What?
It was winning.
But was winning. Was winning. Yeah, he's still good.
And I hate to say it. It's even like when I fought Mike Perry. I was beating Mike Perry's ass. He caught me in the second round. Look at the first round. He got, he knows it. But same thing with Till and Masvidal. I mean, Till was looking good. We're not, we're not gonna say, he just got ran over.
Right. He got run over by Woodley. Well, I mean, Woodley ran him over.
I thought Till looked so much better in the first round. I was thinking Whitaker needs to come out and change this fight in the second round, or he's losing. He's not even going to finish. Yeah. Because Till was tagging him up, man, and the reach, he had the reach advantage. Whitaker couldn't get inside of him. I was like, dude, but I mean, Whitaker came out in that second round and turned the fight around, got him on the ground, and from there, that's when it really became a fight.
Maybe it seems like the rounds that Till won, he won bigger than the rounds that Whitaker won. He
that's
really
true, but not big enough to make him 10-8.
Yeah, right. But he had him hurt. Whitaker was on wobbly feet a couple times.
Yeah.
Where Till was never really hurt in this fight. I mean, he was banged up. He was never really hurt.
Because you're really gonna have compelling rounds, and if it was a title fight, then it's like, okay, let's say Whitaker was the champ, then it's like, okay, you gotta beat the champ definitively, and it's like with close fight, it's hard to say. I mean, you do have a point. I mean, it's hard to say. It's like he didn't. If he could have had a little more in close rounds, it's like they got to be a little more compelling. But
yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great fight. It was a good fight. It was an exciting fight, but it wasn't one of those fights that people are going to be talking about in 10 years.
Oh no, absolutely not. It was a grinded out fight. So it wasn't a lot of fireworks.
Where does Whitaker go from here, though? Does he fight the winner of Adesanya versus Paulo Costa, or what? Because he's right up there. He's still ranked 1, I think.
Yeah.
He does, but he doesn't look good. He didn't look good enough where you're thinking he's going to give Adesanya a chance right now.
Exactly,
I mean, he's going to beat Adesanya. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Costa fight, Costa's been running over everybody.
Yes, he's a terrifying human being.
I don't know. I'm excited for that fight. And he's got a great coach. I mean, he's coached by that fucking little guy with the big glasses. What's his name? The guy.
Cejudo's coach?
Yeah, Cejudo's coach coaches him. I like that guy. What I'm talking about? The captain, Eric Alberician. He's got a really good coach. And that guy's coaching a lot of guys. Coaching Korean Zombie. He's coaching that guy. That guy's got a good little the Pitbull brothers. That guy's got a good little stable, or great stable.
Where are they at? Arizona?
They're in Arizona, yeah. And then their striking coach is Eddie Cha, because Eddie Cha left the lab and went over there. So they got a good little system there going.
Sure.
I hope Cejudo comes back.
He will.
Because totally he will. He's just waiting for it.
I mean, I know that he wants to fight Volkanovski.
And the reality of the way that pay-per-views work is like, should Cejudo get paid a lot of money? Of course he should. He's won belts in 2 different weight classes, but it's like, at the end of the day, you have to be a pay-per-view draw. If you want these $1 million, couple $1 million, 3, 5, whatever, GSP, Conor McGregor type of money, you got to sell pay-per-views. That's, you know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yep. I almost feel like if he would just stop talking, if he just did with Joe Biden. You know how Joe Biden now is like, the less he talks, the better. It's almost like
he does great. The less he talks, the best. Yeah.
It's like they got Britney Spears' dad. They're on his campaign now. But it seems like with Cejudo, no matter how good he is, people just hate the guy, and he didn't even do anything to even be worthy hating. He's just not good at playing a character. If he just wouldn't talk at all, I feel like people would like him better.
It is, especially in this sport. It's tough to, it's you're usually either the good guy or the bad guy, and it's tough to be in between or play more than one. It's like, when he does the cringy bad guy kind of role, but it's like, man, he's all over the place.
I know, but I think he was better off as the good guy, or just as nobody.
As the Olympic champ, the American dream, right? I mean,
there is something very strange about that guy. But you look at who he's beaten. I mean, he ran over T.J. Dillashaw. He knocked out Dominic Cruz, or he stopped Dominic Cruz. He beat the other dude that was running through everybody. The guy that was knocking it. Was it Marlon Moraes?
Yeah.
He beat that guy who knocked out Aljamain Sterling in 8 seconds. And I mean, he ran through everybody, Cejudo.
I don't. Every time I'm like, all right, this is the guy, and then he beat him. Like, okay.
But people are like, plus he's like, because he's like short, and you could tell he's like bad with girls. That like people feel the need to just shit on this dude. But in reality, this dude is a stud. He's just not.
No, he is.
He's just not,
Maybe if he shaved his head, he's got that weird hair.
I was literally just thinking the same exact thing, Greg. That's hilarious.
Wow, exactly, right? Like the weird hair. It's like a little troll doll. I don't know, just shave your head.
Yeah. Or put gel in it or something.
Or something, exactly. Slick it back, do something.
You think if he puts gel in his hair that he's going to become a pay-per-view draw?
Oh, 100%, dude.
I think so. I mean, you're saying people don't take him seriously. What is it? What's the X factor? And I think it's his goofy hair.
Well, coming from someone with a lot of very goofy hair, I will. It is what it is. Now, speaking of surprises, I thought Gustafsson was going to beat Verdum based on
me too.
Last couple fights seemed like he was checked out, didn't want to be in the UFC anymore. Man, was I wrong. I don't even know why was Gustafsson a heavyweight anyway. I mean, there was really no reason for him to be a heavyweight.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, that's one of those too. It's like you moving up to weight class. That's not. I mean, Verdum's not an easy fight for anybody. So it's like, okay, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bums in the heavyweight division. There's a lot of them, but Verdum, you're gonna give him the former world champion, one of the most dangerous guys on the ground. It's like, I don't know about that.
Now, I think he wants to box Fedor now. I think he wants to done with MMA. Wants to box Fedor. Verdum. I guess why don't they just play checkers and put it on? I mean, what the fuck are we doing? By the way, we didn't talk about Nate Robinson is now fighting Jake Paul is fighting Nate Robinson, the basketball player, 3-time dunk winner, on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Who do you like in this fight, Nate Robinson or Jake Paul?
I don't even know who either of those guys are, so I wish I could make it.
Jake Paul,
for me, I would totally call it based on reach advantage. Whoever has the reach advantage, that's who I think is going to win.
Jake Paul is the guy that was this YouTube star. His brother Logan Paul.
Okay, I've heard his name.
They were wrestlers from Ohio. They were pretty good, and they placed in the state. And he kept fighting some other guy. Logan kept fighting some guy from England, some black guy.
KSI.
KSI. I don't know what he kept losing to that guy. But
he boxed the guy, right?
Yeah. So Jake is the younger brother who's I think undefeated. He's 2-0. So Nate Robinson was a basketball player, played for the Knicks. He was really good. But he's shorter. He's like 5'6", but he kept winning the dunk contests. Okay. So now he's retired, and now he's going to box Jake Paul. Now Dylan Dennis wants to fight Jake Paul in boxing, and Dylan Dennis is calling Jake Paul a pussy, fighting Nate Robinson, and now Nate Robinson and Dylan Dennis are going at it on Twitter.
This is the best apocalypse ever.
So this is what happens, I guess. And then not only that, but so after we'll skip to this guy Chimaev, the guy who fought twice in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh.
They call him Little Khabib. This guy. So according to Dylan Dennis, he said he would choke out Chimaev easily. And then Chimaev said, I would beat you with my eyes closed. And now they're going at it. So Dylan Dennis has fought 2 fights in 2 years. Chimaev fought 2 guys in 2 weeks. And then they're fighting each other. What are your thoughts on this?
That Chimaev, he's a savage, man. I was when I saw his name on this card this last weekend, I was like, wait a minute, is this like the same guy? And sure enough, it was. But dude, the guy looks good, man. It's always hard to say until he faces like high level competition. But the way he's winning, man, it's like this guy's impressive. So
he called out Damian Maia after the fight. He said, Maia, I know you're a legend, but I will beat you.
He will.
He'll beat Maia?
Yeah, I think
really?
So. I think so.
He's got crazy heavy hands, man.
Yeah, he does.
Wow. I mean, to have that at that weight, to have that kind of power. Whoo!
But he's beaten 2 guys in the UFC.
No,
and one guy was like,
Adam.
what?
It's all about timing.
Yeah, but one of the guys they just brought up from like Bellator. That guy.
No, I agree.
Warriors.
I agree.
Wasn't exactly a world beater.
But it's not Damian Maia from 2008, 2010. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying right.
2020.
This version of Damian Maia. All right. Okay. All right. Now, the fight of the year: Shogun versus Little Nog.
Yeah. Oh, definitely fight of the year. Oh, yeah, without question.
Decade, yeah.
How this is not bare knuckle yet, I don't know.
This was the fight of the wrong century. Now, do you think we should have a senior division? Honestly.
Yes, 100%.
And if you win 5 senior fights, you get to fight the regular champ. Like the other. Do you think there should be an over 40 division in the UFC?
Yes.
Jake?
Over 40 or just like a
I mean,
over 20 fights in the UFC or something.
Yeah, over 20 fights. Yeah, right. Diego Sanchez, I mean, I think he's like 26, but he would be in that division. Now, do you think that – because it seems like in golf they have it. They have that other 3-on-3 league in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever that league is they have.
Yeah.
Do you think a senior division – because, like, it was an entertaining fight. But it was also good that they were fighting each other. Do you think, like, I think the senior champ should fight the regular champ because everyone will get behind the senior champ, right? Everyone will be pushing for that guy.
And it'll generally be somebody that they know very well. It's going to be a big name that they recognize, generally speaking.
I mean, who won this fight? Depends. It just seems like like foot stops and groin strikes were the actual same exact. You could actually stop someone's foot and their balls at the same time. I mean,
there's a good one.
No, thanks, appreciate it. So Shogun has won 3 times versus Little Nog. He's won out of his last 7 fights. So they fight again next week? Like, what do you think?
No, definitely not.
No,
I think Shogun was the champ. He was the world champ in Pride before I ever started training. That's how long he's been fighting.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. I mean, you can definitely tell that he's not on the same stuff he was on during Pride.
Yeah.
So now,
and how much longer do you fight? Either guy. I mean, I think Nogueira's done, but
now, Jake, could you tell when someone was on steroids in the gym?
In the gym?
Yeah.
I mean, usually it's.
How did you know?
I don't know. What's that? I mean, you got the visual test. You can.
No, but I'm saying, like, did you ever train with a guy on okay, Monday, and then he was like, yeah, you were beating him. 2 weeks later, the guy shows up and he's fucking.
Oh yeah.
Throwing you around.
Yeah, you can tell for sure.
Really?
Yeah, he gets in a fight with the soap dispenser. That's usually how you know. Like, fuck you, soap dispenser! Fuck you, I'm true, motherfucker! And that's how you know.
And then, I mean, hand dryer. Yeah.
Now, do you say anything to that guy? Are you like, hey, what are you on? Or like, hey, man, like, do you have any extra? Or do you just avoid it?
Do you have any extra? Is it like that? Is it like all one size fits all? You just pick up the needle, jam it in your ass? I figured it was like you had to get a certain type for you or something. I don't know anything about
it.
Yeah. I mean, you can usually tell. It was more prevalent before USADA came along, but.
Now, was it like a guy with like a trench coat in the gym with like a hat and sunglasses?
From the 1950s. Old detective.
Like, hey, that's the guy that you want to get your stuff from, you know?
No. No.
Who do you get your stuff from, Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
I get it from Vince.
Now, I'll tell you.
He's going to beat your ass now.
He's on steroids for all the Twitch streaming.
Now. There you go.
I'll tell you. So Carla Esparza, I like Carla. I'll tell you why I like Carla, because she knew how to readjust in that fight. I mean, Mayweather is the best defensive boxer of all time. He probably lost so many first 2 out of 4 rounds out of the 12-round fight. He would lose them, figure out how to beat you, and then beat you. And Carla was like obviously losing on her feet, and was like, "Fuck it, I gotta make an adjustment, and I don't care how angry the crowd gets. Maybe having the crowd not there to boo helped actually,
Probably so.
She's like, you know what? Take the person down, get the win, live to fight another day. And that's what she did. And as opposed to other fighters when we go, no, I got better striking than this person, and they lose a kickboxing match because they're too stubborn to go to plan B. I give Carla a lot of credit for that. A lot of people do not do that. They just keep going with the same thing over and over and over again. And you're like, it's not working. Now,
right. It wasn't working. She was getting her ass beat and she took it to the ground. I think if she could just find a way to make those shots on the ground seem more damaging, I don't think people would be as upset about it. But it's like she just pet, and it just seems like she's just kind of holding them down.
Also, not going to heel hooks from mount. Probably.
Yeah, what was that business? That was hilarious.
That was like someone showed her that move last week, and I'm going to try this. Like,
yeah.
Jake, why did she keep doing that?
That's a good question. I like Carla a lot too. She's a sweetheart, but what she finds a way to win. I mean, when you talk about fight IQ and being able to make adjustments, it's really not that common. It's surprising that it's to say, like, if you look at the top 5, even top 10, most of them are really good at making adjustments. And I think that you get those typical kind of egocentric guys and gals and just throw down and see what happens. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
great for her. She found a way to win and did it.
Now, she went for that heel hook at the first, ended up on bottom, right?
Yeah.
Her coach,
and it could have cost her the round. And if it cost her the round, it cost her the fight. She's lucky she got away with that round.
It could have cost her the whole fight because she would have got smashed in the head. Now, as a coach, why is her coach not telling her, don't do that again? As a wrestling coach, a middle school coach, if a kid keeps going for the head and arm and it doesn't work, which it usually doesn't, I go, stop going for the head and arm. But her coach told her to do it again. Well, that was strange, no?
Yeah. I have no idea what their strategy was, but hey, again, she found a way to win.
Okay, all right.
I wouldn't win for it again, though. No.
You know what was funny about that is when she went for it, the look on the other gal's face, knowing that she was not executing it correctly. Like, she wasn't concerned for a second. She was just like, oh, you're trying that? Oh, that's wrong. It was, and then she just got out of it.
Like, Chael Sonnen is a good friend of mine. I love the guy. He's a really good friend. He's kind of the king of what the fuck did you do that for? Like the Fedor fight, where he went for like a forward roll choke thing. Like, he was on top of the guy pounding.
He had his back, and he tried to roll forward with the head and arm, literally like the seat belt, but he had no hooks in, which is really it's risky, especially in May. You have no shirt on; it's risky. And of course, he slipped off the back. Yeah.
And then he goes for a spinning back fist against Anderson Silva, and then
it seemed good at the time.
And then he's up 4 rounds, nothing against Anderson Silva the first time, and he just doesn't back up. He stays in the guy's guard.
He says it seemed like a good idea at the time. That's what he told me. So,
I mean, is that something where you're just like, what makes you so great is how stubborn you are, but it also kind of kills you sometimes? Sure.
Oh yeah, it can be a double-edged sword. But again, it comes down to making adjustments. I mean, something doesn't work, or even you learn a lot in the first round, and you got to have a coach or somebody who can help you address those tactics, good or bad.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you who's a great coach, who I really respected him a lot, was Justin Gaethje's coach. I think out of Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Because when he was fighting Tony Ferguson, he told him during the fight, every time you lose is when you have too much fun in there. Like, stop having fun and let's just fucking win this fight.
Hey, that's what he needs to hear.
And he knew exactly what he meant, right? By having fun, by just getting into these all-out wars, keeping your hands down, going punch for punch. And that to me was like brilliant coaching, which was like, dude, let's just at certain times you have, the problem is, there's a lot more great coaches than there are bad coaches. The bad coaches then sometimes stand out. Like Coach Edmond with Ronda with the head movement.
I knew you were gonna go there first. You hated that guy so much.
It was, yeah. I just felt like I don't like his whole thing of trying to break somebody down completely and to build them back up. I just feel like you play to someone's strengths, versus trying to do something your way. You know, you got a girl who's an Olympic judoka. Let's work on the judo. Let's not make her into a boxer.
Yeah.
To me, that was just kind of insane.
So you feel he set her up to lose?
No, I think he wanted her to win. Obviously, I think he wanted her to win. I just think that you have to know what you're good at.
I didn't say want her to lose. I said set her up to lose.
I think sometimes you have to know your own capabilities. You know, for example, if all of a sudden somebody hired me to be an MMA coach tomorrow, I would bring in like a striking coach, a
right. You would handle wrestling. You would handle wrestling.
And I would probably even bring in a wrestling coach too, because wrestling for MMA is different than wrestling, you know? But some guys want to be a one-stop shop, and they just want to be like, no, I know MMA. And I think that you have to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. That being said, look, Coach Edmond is obviously not a one-trick pony, because a guy who he has fighting this week, and we're going to jump to it, is Edmond Sharbazian, right? That's his name?
Yep. Yeah.
And this kid
good friend of mine,
looking like the next big thing. Now he's fighting a guy, Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson is now, unfortunately, because I like Derek, but seems to be gatekeeper.
Stepping stone.
He sort of is like a gatekeeper, where if you beat Derek Brunson, you're the next thing. And I think Derek Brunson's better than that. I think he's also a guy that sometimes has terrible strategies when it comes to fighting. Like, let's just abandon everything we know about fighting and just go out there like a world star hip hop fucking, fight. And yeah, that might beat Sam Alvey, but when he gets to Robert Whitaker, he gets knocked out. Now, tell me about this guy, Edmond, because you train with him, Jake. How good is this guy?
So I started training with him. When I fought Robbie Lawler, I was sparring with him. He was like 16 years old, maybe 15, 16. And like, even just at that age, you were like, I was impressed. I was like, God damn, this kid is super tough. He's skilled. He'd been training. I don't know. I think since he was 8 or 9 years old, something like that. But even back then, I know it's no surprise. I mean, he's got a hell of a work ethic, and he's really, really tough. But yeah, I've trained for a long time. Even recently, like this last year, But no, I'm excited for him. It's definitely a big test, a big step up. And
now, is he a judo guy? What's his background?
No, man. He started training MMA. Like he started doing he's done a lot of boxing training. He's done some amateur boxing matches, but he's trained, like he started training as a kid, like everything. Karate.
I remember I was at a fight with you, sitting next to you. We were at the Palms.
Oh yeah.
He was losing the fight, or it was a close fight. It was against, I think, Darren the Dentist Stewart, and it was a close fight. And you were sitting next to me, and he was fighting, and then you said, "No, he's not listening," and you jumped onto the floor to run to give him advice, and security tackled you, and told you to go back to your seat. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do. They told me to sit down. Yeah.
That's why I just shout my advice from the stands. All you do is annoy people, but they can't throw you out.
He was trying to get a takedown. He was on the cage on the double leg. I told him to lock his hands. And he did.
Okay. You were saying lock your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. You couldn't just yell that from the crowd, because we were cage side.
No, I did that, but I tried to go between rounds. They're like, no, fuck off.
It was kind of, no offense, it was kind of embarrassing, because you're like, I'm Jake Ellenberger, and you show your ID. It was.
You don't understand. I'm in this. I'm really in it. I'm in it. You're like Kevin Hart trying to get on the stage when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like, no, it's me. Come on. You let me in there. I'm into this. I'm part of it.
All right. Well, Jake and Greg had to leave for a second, but Joe, how's it going, man?
Great.
I'm doing better. Want to know why?
Why?
Because the final 22 teams have made their way down to Orlando and are ready to get back on the court. Yeah. While the ending to this year's basketball season's a little different, I get it. There will be no shortage of excitement. And there's no better place to get an all in the action than on DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. And to celebrate the return of basketball, DraftKings will have not one, but 2 $1 million prizes. How great is that, man? I could use $1 million. You?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So get in all the action now. Listen, if you haven't tried it yet, which I don't know what you're thinking, if you haven't tried it, fantasy basketball is very easy. Just pick 8 players underneath the salary cap and pile up points for three-pointers, rebounds, assists, and more. And there's no better way to put your basketball knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million. You think you know basketball? You think you're good? Prove it. But if basketball's not for you, don't worry, because DraftKings is offering plenty of fantasy golf action for this week's tournament. I know you guys like golf, huh? And with millions of dollars up for grabs this week, there's no better place to have skin in the game than with DraftKings. So, call to action. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code ROASTED to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week at your first deposit. That's promo code ROASTED to get a free shot at millions of dollars with your first deposit. Only at DraftKings. There's a minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Greg, Jake, come on back.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now, all right, let's talk about also, before that, Dan Hardy and Herb Dean are still going at it. So I think it was the Trinaldo fight, right? Trinaldo versus Jai Herbert.
Herbert, yep.
Trinaldo came back. He was losing that fight. Fucking hit him with a weird shot. It was like one of those shots where it was like a delayed reaction shot where he got hit, and then 3 seconds later, he's on the ground. His hands are like up. He was not defending himself, and Herb is just staring at him.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird. It was definitely weird. I don't know if Herb thought maybe he was playing possum or he wasn't as hurt as what. Herb didn't see the shot, but it should have been stopped. Now, Dan Hardy was yelling. I think he was probably trained with the guy. He knew the guy personally. But then afterwards went and had a word with him, jumped into the cage or almost and said something to him, yelled at him back and forth. Herb made a video about it saying, listen, this is irresponsible. It's not your job. You weren't there. I was there. Jake, whose side are you on?
I mean, Herb Dean's been a great ref. I'm actually on Dan's side. I think it was stopped too late because, when the guy got hit, he was clearly, his hands were up. He wasn't defending himself. I mean, if the guy was scrambling trying to get a leg, I get that. But he was on his back, his hands were up, and it was like, he could have saved him maybe for 3 or 4 more shots. But I agree with Dan. I mean, maybe that wasn't the best approach to handle it,
Well, and that's the thing. It's not whether he's right or wrong. He's right, but he can't jump in the ring and start telling the ref, hey, that's a shitty job. I'm pretty sure that's not the official route you go with to file a complaint about reffing. I mean, there's got to be some kind of other way to do that. I'm sure they certainly don't want to set a precedence where anytime you disagree with the ref, like, hey, look, I'm a fighter.
What's crazy about Dan is that me and Dan were actually training partners for like 2 years. Like we wrestled together over at Legends. He is the most unassuming, polite, nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like he's not the guy that I would think would jump into the cage to yell. And the guy was a monk for a while. He said he was a monk. It's just like, but man, I guess when you see your friend get fucked up, and you're right, it was the timing. It wasn't it was not a good precedent. But I could understand where he's coming from.
Agree. At the end of the day, it's not going to change anything. I don't disagree with his argument, but his approach was bad. It's like not, you're all pissed off, and it's like you're there as a commentator. So I disagree with Dan in that sense and how he did it, but he's right. It was too late. It was a late stoppage.
Well, Yamasaki said he was stopped too early, by the way.
I was going to say, I mean, if anything, I want them to get out there when these guys stop it too early and get out there and be like, hey, start this up again. Start it up again. This is bullshit.
Yeah, and the hard part, too, is like Herb Dean's been a great ref for countless years. I mean, he laid an egg this weekend. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think, Greg, like everybody should get like a one stop too early thing where like somebody in the crowd should get a thing where if it stopped too early, you get to actually restart the fight?
Or at least continue it?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the flare has gone up. Continue the fight flare has been shot up. They got to keep it going.
And Herb, I've talked to him many times. He's a stand-up guy. When my foot got stuck in the cage at the Palms when I fought Masvidal, I talked to him for a while. It wasn't his decision because he called timeout. He went out, talked to Bob Bennett, the Nevada athletic director here, and he was in the opposite corner, and he said, "No, the fight's over," and her being called time. And so then he was like, "Dude, I wanted to restart the fight." So he was even on my side then.
That was the weirdest fight I've ever been to. I'm like, what was there like a banana peel in the octagon? Like, how did you get your foot? How did you get your foot stuck in the cage?
I like went for like a flying knee, and then like he moved out of the way, and like I came down, and my foot went like directly into like between the mat and the cage. It was really weird. And I turned around, and my foot stayed there, and I was like, I turned back, and he starts hitting me, and I'm like, fucking foot. So
you were telling her my foot stuck.
Yeah, I mean, I turned around, and then, my foot stayed there, and I think Masvidal noticed, of course he starts hitting me. It's like, and again, I'm not even objective. I'm not mad at Masvidal. He's doing he's fighting until they tell you to not fight. I do the same thing. I would do the same thing, but yeah.
Was it, hey, by the way, guys, was it Betch Kahe? Was she the one that thought the round ended early on the 10th?
Yeah.
No? And so she was like, all right, cool. And I love the way the other girl was like, fuck no. Like, just was like, you round's over for you. It ain't over for me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I thought that was the right thing to do. Is just keep swinging.
Were you there when we interviewed her, Greg? That was a girl from Sweden. That was
the Kansiad.
She was the
EMC. Yes, I do remember. Yeah. And I was happy to see her win. She looked great. I mean, she may have knocked Betch out of the UFC.
I think that Betch is not getting better. I hate to say it, but it seems like she kind of peaked out when she beat the shit out of Shayna Baszler. She was like on fire, and it just seems like something's off with her. I don't know. Maybe it's different camp or what, but it seems like she's.
I think the fighting, her fighting hasn't advanced, and everybody else's has. Yeah. And so they're coming in more well-rounded than she is. And, she's short, she's thick, so she has the shorter range. She wouldn't seem to be using the kicks at all. I don't know. I feel, for me, watching it, I was like, okay, this is either her comeback fight where she's back and she kills this girl, or it's a fight where you're like, yeah, it's pretty much over for her.
She's got a great butt.
Unfortunately,
her butt is amazing. Have you seen her butt?
Really fantastic.
Yes. So, it's
like two loaves of bread in a bag that's too small.
It's like Ellenberger's chin. It's just got the perfect. By the way, so let's talk about Bellator for a second. Any of you guys watch Bellator?
Really quick. Let's go back to Carla. Where does she go next? Was it 3 or 4 in a row? I mean, she might fight for the title.
She wants to fight. What's her name? She wants to go up against the girl that Cynthia Cavillo. Oh, no. She wants to fight, what's her name? Claudia Gadella.
Right. That's right. She called her out.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I think that I think Carla, it's an interesting fight. I mean, that whole, like, it just seems like Zhang Weili is on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to beat Zhang Weili for a while.
You still got Joanna, right? She's in the top, 3?
Yeah, Joanna, you got Zhang, Joanna. Look, Tatiana Suarez, I think, is the best one out there. I mean, she's
great.
She killed Carla. She's all-American wrestler, like a national champion.
Yeah, she was I think she was on the path to go to the Olympic team. Like she was.
Yeah, and she got cancer. She's unbelievable, and everyone keeps leaving her out of the equation. But I want to see her fight because I want to see her versus Zhang Weili because that's
get her back on the podcast.
We had her back. We had her on last month. She's cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's awesome. No, she's awesome.
I want to see what she can do because I want to see if Zhang Weili's striking against her wrestling. She's also a bigger girl too. Like she cuts to 15. I think she walked around like 140 or something. So I want to see. That's a fight I want to see. Now, Bellator, Aaron Pico. Finally is putting it together. Did you watch that fight, Jake?
Oh, yeah.
This is the Aaron Pico I want to see.
Yeah. No, I think it was a good move. He's down at Jackson's now. I mean, they got a lot of great coaching. It's never – I've always said that. It's never going to be a conditioning or outworked or out-wrestled or anything like that. It's just tactical there. People always like to give him shit because he's been – there's been so much – media, so much attention on him, but for me, I'm like, if he comes as far as coaching and strategy, if it's there, the kid's unstoppable. Yeah,
no, he looked awesome, and I was super happy for him. And then also, like I said, I just think that Sergio Pettis is just a step above. I mean, he left the UFC. He didn't get cut.
Yeah.
He just left on his own free will, and I think he's going to do damage in Bellator. The other kid is good. He just seems to not be at that elite level as far as Bellator goes. And then, like I said, Jason Jackson beat Jordan Main. Everyone was sleeping on this kid. He's the guy that went. I thought he beat Ed Ruth, and Jordan Main. I think he might have overlooked him. I think he's, I've beaten better guys. I'm a UFC guy. Who's this guy? Like you said, timing. And bare knuckle boxing, Luis Palomino knocked out Isaac Valley Flag quick. Talk about it was one of those things where it was like to the side of the head. And those with 4-ounce gloves fucking get you all knocked out of the, with bare knuckle, side of the head. Not illegal, but kind of like, whoa. And then it was over. It was quick. It was like 30 seconds.
Was it really?
Yeah. And then, I don't know.
Are these guys getting paid for bare knuckle? Do you know? I mean, I'm just curious. Like, I have no desire to do that, but I'm just like, I hope these guys are getting paid.
When they used to do bum fights, I think there was a sandwich and a couple 40s. So I would assume something in that range.
Some of them say they get better than they were getting in the UFC. I don't know if I believe it, but that's what they're.
I'd be very surprised.
I think Beck Rawlings said she got more for bare knuckle than she's got. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope she's right.
But she's in Bellator now, so I don't know. I mean, then why would she go back to
Jake, I know one way you can find out.
Hey, everyone's got their price, right?
Exactly. Maybe you just give them a little ringy dingy. See what's up there. Shoot an email. Maybe just shoot an email.
Also, do you watch the Mark Lemminger versus Jake Smith fight? The Uber Smith, that guy? He looked like he trained with Antifa. He like came in on like 3 days notice, went up 2 weight classes. It was supposed to be Logan Storley. Storley bailed out. Storley's a stud. But yeah, they shouldn't let guys just show up on 2 days notice and go up 2 weight classes to fight.
The show must go on, Adam. The show's got to go on. It seemed like that. What is that? The Chimaev, how do you say his name?
Yeah.
Like he volunteered, and it's like I think it was what he was at 170 this fight.
He was 6-0. That guy. These other guys are coming in with like, 7-4, and they're like, I'll fight. I'm fucking down the block or something. Like they just show up.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I don't know if you saw the fight. Pat Miletich lost his kickboxing fight to Michael Nunn. He fought two. Did you watch that fight?
I didn't watch it. No.
It was on pay-per-view.
Okay.
So Miletich.
Wow. Was it just kickboxing?
Pat's having a tough time. He got 2 DUIs, but he's doing all right. I talked to him. He's doing better.
Was that on the way to the fight?
It was like the day before.
He got 2 DUIs on the way to the fight.
So Michael Nunn at one point,
impressive.
Michael Nunn was one of the best boxers in the world, but then he went to jail for 15 years or something, or drug charge. I don't know what he was. So I think Pat was trying to help him out. They had a charity fight, and it was in Iowa. Also on the card, what's name had his debut? That guy that fought like 700 times.
Travis Fulton?
No, the other guy. You know what I'm talking about. The guy, I think he's from Oregon, or he's fought like a billion. No. He beat Chael Sonnen 3 times.
Bob, no. It's Bob. Trevor.
You know what I'm talking about. Not Travis Fulton, but like Travis Fulton. Who the guy who beat? Look up Chael Sonnen and see who he lost to 3 or 4 times by armbar. Anyway, the guy made his boxing
debut. Horn?
Who?
Jeremy Horn?
Yeah, Jeremy Horn fought.
Okay.
He made his boxing debut and won. So yeah, this happened. I don't know.
Was that a Monty Cox promotion?
I think it was actually.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Matt Hughes showed up. Matt Hughes was there. So he didn't fight. But so Pat Miletich.
That's nice. What was Matt Hughes doing there?
I'm not sure.
Was it in his town? Was it like, did they like clear a cornfield for these fights? And
I think he took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been tight with Pat and Monty. So
but I gotta watch the fight. I didn't see it, but what I heard was Pat threw a leg kick and almost destroyed Michael Nunn's leg, and then didn't throw any more leg kicks after that. So I think that he might have been kind of carrying him and let him win. So I don't know if that's what happened, but it seemed like that happened. All right. So this week in the UFC, we have Derek Brunson versus Edmund. Who do we like in that fight?
I mean, I'm going to go with Edmund. Yeah, he's obviously, I have a little bit of a bias, but the guy's got a lot of momentum. I'm going to go with Shabazian TKO second round.
Greg.
Here's the thing though. They're at the apex again. And so are they once again in a smaller, I don't understand why they have to be in a smaller cage, a smaller octagon, whatever, because they're at this center. And to me, it dramatically affects these fights and definitely skews it in favor of the puncher. So whoever the better puncher is, that's who's going to win. And if you're saying it's Shabazian, then I would probably go with Shabazian too.
In the smaller cage, you said?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know a lot of people would say that wrestlers have an advantage in the smaller cage because you can't move as much. But, no, I don't think that's going to change the outcome of this fight at all. But I'll go Edmund. I think he's on fire.
Ween Dog?
I have Edmund by KO in the first round.
I got Derek Brunson. And by the way, Derek Brunson saw me at an airport 3 months ago. I was like 4 flights in. I was in the bathroom, and he was like, "Hey man, were you in the bathroom at LAX?" I go, "What?" I go, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "It looked like you were on like a 5-day crack binge." So, but I happen to like Derek Brunson a lot. I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, nice guy.
I think he's gonna put it all together for this fight, and I think Edmund is not at that level yet.
Well, that's a good underdog pick because Derek Brunson is a plus 240 right now, underdog.
Derek Brunson wins this. I don't know how he wins it. I think.
Better put some money on it then. I don't think these fights should even count that they're in a smaller ring. I really don't. It's like if you played an NFL game and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play it on an 80-yard field." It's like, well, that isn't real NFL football. That game should not count. Yeah, and I don't think these fights in a smaller octagon should count. I don't get it. I fucking hate it.
You hate it, but there've been way more finishes.
Again, to the point that I think it makes them engage more, but I just think that it's unfair when everybody else is fighting in a larger octagon than you. I think it dramatically affects the dynamic of the fight.
Yeah, but if you fight in Ryzen, it's a ring. I mean,
which is a totally different league. This is within the UFC. The guys are fighting in separate, in different conditions, and yet the wins and losses count the same. I disagree with it completely.
I understand. That was not the point. We asked who was going to win, and you said no one's.
And I'm telling you, everyone's a loser. That's what I'm telling you.
All right. So JoJo Calderwood versus Maya. I got JoJo. She was training for the champion. She was she's looking great. I like her. I like her fiance. And I think JoJo's going to beat Jennifer Maia. Maya's got a couple of losses that were like. I don't know. I think Jennifer Maia is a good fighter, but I think JoJo's the next level.
Agree.
You?
Who's she fighting again?
I forget it. Okay, so we got Randy, Jennifer Maia versus JoJo Calderwood.
I don't know a lot about her. Sorry, I can't make it.
It's all right. They're like girls. All right. So Randy Brown versus Vicente Lucay. Randy Brown's coming off wins against Barberena. He beat Warley Alves, who's got a win over Colby Covington. Vicente Lucay is coming off a win over Nico Price, also a stud.
Right.
I thought Lucay was going to beat Wonder Boy, and I was wrong on that one.
Yeah.
But I think he beats Randy Brown in this fight.
You think so?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good matchup. I mean, they both. I don't know. They both have the potential to win. We'll see. I think. When's the last time Randy Brown fought? You know.
Joe?
November 16th, 2019.
Okay.
It's not that long ago.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was longer than that.
He's huge too for 170. He's 6'3". This is Randy Brown.
Yeah. That's big.
Wow.
And Vicente is 5'11". So that you got to take that into consideration.
What's the reach disadvantage then?
You got an 8-inch dick reach advantage.
Maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't say on Sure Dog.
Oh, okay. So, I like Lucay in this one, but I don't know much about Randy Brown. So
he's from Long Island. He's from New York. He's a good fighter. He beat our buddy. He was gave our guy his first loss. What's his name? The guy that just lost to Mike Perry.
Mickey Gall.
Oh, after the Mike Perry fight, he tweeted out, "Mike Perry, you suck." After Mike Perry's last fight. All right. All right, a guy that I like a lot, friend of the podcast, Gerald Meershart, smart guy, good fighter, just a guy that like won 6 in a row, but never gets the, but then when he loses quickly. But when he wins, he wins. Fighting Ed Herman, who's on a 2-fight win streak, actually, Ed Herman. I like Meershart in this one. You guys, Jake, these are guys, these are your peers.
Yeah, I got it with my buddy Ed. He's been consistent. He's been training. He looks like he's got some momentum. I think he's gonna pull it out.
Have you ever trained with him?
Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've trained him for a couple of years.
How good is he?
Yeah. No, he's always been good. He's always been tougher than nails. But again, like we talked about, it always comes down to like strategy and tactics. But yeah, I think he's gonna win by submission.
Oh wow. Okay, Greg.
I like Meershart just because his last name is fun to say.
All right. So also in this card, we got Ray Borg, who I like a lot.
Yeah.
Ray Borg's a good guy. He's got a kid who was born with an illness, and just a solid dude. Is fighting this guy Manis, who's 11-1, but he's won 8 fights in a row, all by stoppage. But they've all been in South Carolina, and I looked at these guys up. Guys who were 5-3, 7-6. He's beating them. He's knocking them out. What he's supposed to do. But the only time he's stepped up, he's lost. Actually, no, that's not him. That's the other guy. It's a guy named Cody Dreden. I don't know anything about Manis. I'm completely wrong. But I did do a lot of research on the other guy.
You make me feel better about my shitty analysis.
Okay. I don't know much about Manis. He's a guy 11-1.
11-1, man. Ray Borg was up there towards the top for a minute.
He was, but then he fought what's his name? The champ.
Ricky Simon. Oh,
no,
Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, who threw him like a flying armbar. That was like the craziest submission I've ever seen in my entire life. Remember he like jumped into it. It was insane. But I like Ray Borg in this.
Yeah, I like Ray Borg too.
Yeah, me too. I like Ray Borg. I'd like to see him rise back up, man. I'd like to see him climb back up into the main card. I think he's
the other guy. He's never really got his due. Like he's a good fighter, but unfortunately not the most not the most marketable.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten the breaks. Like it hasn't stacked up for him.
Right.
And then we got Jamal Emmers versus Tamir Valiev. By the way, Tamir Valiev has wins over Corey Sandhagen, and his only loss, he lost to that guy Giga, the guy that you train with, right? By split decision.
Yeah.
How good is Giga?
Giga's great. He's probably one of the best guys I've ever sparred with. He's a K1 world champ, a couple-time karate European world champ. I mean, he's a unbelievable striker.
So to lose to him by split decision is pretty good.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Okay. So I guess we like him in this fight.
Yeah. Who's he fighting?
He's fighting Jamal Emmers, and then then Chris Gutierrez. He's the guy fighting Cody Durden, the guy who's on a 3-fight winning streak, but all in South Carolina. Gutierrez, who won 8 in a row. Chris is on a 3-fight winning streak. He beat Vince Morales by leg kicks. He's won 6 out of his last 7. I think Gutierrez got this one.
I agree. I'm good with him.
Yeah. The other guy.
You know what? I'm going to go with Cody Durden. And I'll tell you what, I'd like a guy who's coming in there kicking ass and nobody knows who he is. And he's got a shot now to make people know who he is. I like Cody Durden in this one.
Hell yeah. This is a crazy card, dude. We have Lando Venata versus Bobby Green 2, which is a rematch, I think. I think Venata got the nod in the first one.
What made you think it's a rematch? It said number.
Oh no, it was a draw. They fought.
Oh, yeah, I remember that fight. And Bobby Green's coming off a big win over Clay Guida. Venata's a guy I thought was.
Can you rephrase that, please? A big win over Clay Guida.
Come on.
You mean he showed up and did what he was supposed to do? That's what you're saying.
Guida has beaten 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, in the 2000s. I mean, come on, man. And listen, I love Clay Guida. I've always been a fan of Clay, but let's not pretend that he's current. You know what I mean? Like
the guy ran to Fight Island and back. Okay.
The guy should be in a van in Brooklyn with a loudspeaker.
He does. He actually follows some band in a van or something. No, but Clay Guida's a guy. Look, he has wins over Nate Diaz, Rafael Dos Anjos, and Anthony Pettis. So I mean, Guida's beaten all three of those guys.
Yes, back before 2010. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's not the same guy anymore. And so to say that it was a big win, it wasn't really a big win. You think he did what a guy who's coming up should have done.
Should he be in that league? You think?
Yes, he should absolutely be in the senior league.
All right. Jake, are you going to join the senior league or no?
No, I'm not. Negative.
Come on, do it.
Okay, you tilted me. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Come on, it doesn't even exist. So you can join an imaginary league.
Yeah. Who's Bobby Green fighting? You said.
Are you on this podcast? Lando Venata.
Okay, excuse me, I can't even pronounce his fucking name. How am I supposed to remember it?
Lando is a guy that almost beat Tony Ferguson.
Okay. It
wasn't even in the UFC, and they just called him, and he almost won. And everyone was like so high on this dude. And then he's lost some fights. He lost to Drakkar. I think he won his last fight. He's like, Ween Dog, tell me about Lando.
He's a crazy fighter. He's very entertaining to watch. He has 2 draws on his record, which I don't know if that's due to his fight style. He does crazy kicks. He's coming off a win over Yancy Medeiros.
Yeah, beat Yancy.
But before that, he lost to Mark DeCasey, who just fought. And then he won against Marcos Mariano. So
right.
I'm very interested to see what new things he's going to bring to the table in this rematch.
Everyone says that Bobby Green in practice is the greatest fighter in the world. Everyone says that in the gym, he's a legend. He just has a hard time. Look at this. We got JoJo Calderwood and John Wood. That's what I'm talking about. JoJo is teaching John how to use Zoom because John is 60 years old.
There they are. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
So, how are you, John?
Can't hear a fucking thing.
By the way, JoJo at the gym kicked me in the leg.
Hold on.
A leg kick because Mike Pyle told her that was my pay, and I couldn't walk for like 3 days. Oh my God. Like, this girl knows how to kick. 115-pound girl, just fucking wow. John, how are you? All right, thank you. That was John Wood, everybody. John Wood is killing the game. He's actually coming back on. We have 2 John Woods here.
There's another one, yes.
This is evil John Wood, and we have good John Wood here. It's like
there we go.
Greg has an angel on his shoulder and a devil on his shoulder. So, all right. How are you, John Wood?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
Good, man. So you got COVID?
I don't now. I mean, I did, but I'm now free and clear.
How did that happen, and what was your experience like with that?
So, I'm not sure how it happened. We're in a position where obviously still training fighters and guys are still fighting in UFC, so I'm around quite a few people. The situation was I've been tested probably 15 times already before that came up. So I had a fighter that got signed, or I had a short notice fight. Oh shit. You there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. Had a short notice fight on LFA in South Dakota. So flew out to South Dakota, and I'd been tested literally like, I think 2 weeks before, 10 days before that for UFC stuff. And South Dakota, got off the plane, got tested, went to the room, did our thing. Next morning I wake up and they say, I get a call at like 6 a.m. So I kind of knew. I was like, oh shit. So I knew immediately that wasn't going to be a good deal. And get the call from the promoter, and says, you got the Rona, bro. And
wow.
yeah, so my fighter, Natan Levy, actually tested negative. The other group of people, everybody that I was around tested negative. I was the only one who tested positive, but because of that, they had to still pull his fight. And we had to drive 22 hours back from South Dakota.
Oh my God.
Do you think it was a false positive?
No. So here's the deal. Like, I didn't realize I got about 10 people in camp right now. So we just kind of started ramping everything back up. So I didn't realize, like, I had really bad joint pain and things kind of going in. I was like, why the fuck my ankles hurt and all this stuff? And am I allowed to swear on this, by the way?
Yeah,
right?
Totally. You're good.
Why the fuck do my ankles hurt and all this shit? And I thought I was overworking, and so that was kind of the thing I read that it was afterwards is like a big telltale sign of it. I had no symptoms until the day after. So when we're driving back is when the shit started hitting me, man. And it was like,
oh wow.
I started having super bad body aches, like you got a really bad flu. And that was it. And like, I wasn't saying anything to Natan, and I was the one driving back because I felt like an asshole since I got his fight pulled. But so I drove the whole way to make up for it, kind of. But by the time I got back home the next day, I felt like shit. So my body was hurt. Then the next day after that, I lost my sense of smell and taste, which I don't have back yet. So I've been cleared for about 10 days now, and actually just got tested yesterday because I got somebody on the next contenders, and then I got JoJo this Saturday. So I've been tested twice and gotten cleared 3 times actually now. I've been cleared every once, so I'm good to go. But yeah, I have no taste, no smell, and it was honestly just like bad body aches and kind of like a flu feeling. But to be honest, dude, if this thing didn't have a name and it wasn't like this, deadly disease, I would have gone to work. I would have kept working. I would have worked through it. I've had way worse flus and way worse colds. So I don't think it's something that would have stopped me from doing what I do. But everybody has different experiences, apparently.
Well, I've seen some of the girls you date. You've never had taste. So
at this point in time, I think I'm unstoppable when it comes to diseases. I ain't getting that shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing is now you have the antibody, right?
So they say, like every day, something comes out in the news. They're like, oh, you can't get it again. Oh, you can get it again. Oh, you can get it off of service. Oh, you can't get it off of service. Don't lick the fucking telephone pole. Oh, you can lick the telephone pole. Whatever. It's seriously like every day it's something new. But as of the information that I hear now is you can't get it again. So it's just like I'm not even gonna say that. So
now when you're driving in a car with Natan Levy, who got his fight pulled, and you have coronavirus, how awkward is that? I mean, he's got to be like, I'm getting it. I'm in the same car with him for 19 hours, right?
So here's the crazy thing. No one around me got it. My son didn't get it. JoJo didn't get it. Natan didn't get it. No one got it. So like the concept of like, oh, you're around somebody and it's just this viral thing, like you're not, I don't think that's the way it works. Not a single person around me got it. So yeah, he was scared, and that's kind of, I felt like a shithead so I wasn't telling him that I felt bad, and until I got home, and then I was like, yeah, man, I'm dying. You might be dying too. But and it's one of those things where the thought does like go through your mind. Like, I'm like, holy shit, I'm 41 right now. There's heart disease in my family. Am I going to wake up tomorrow? It was kind of freaky for a day or two, but now it's.
Well, I'm so happy that you're okay, man. The world needs you, bro. Somebody that definitely needs you is JoJo. So now she was up for a title shot with Shevchenko. You guys were training for Shevchenko, and now you're taking this fight. This is a dangerous fight. This girl's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think. She's a good fighter. Like, what's the upside to this?
So here's the deal. JoJo won that last fight nearly, I think, 10, 11 months ago in the last Abu Dhabi show against Andrea Lee. And essentially, we were shelved for the title fight then. We said, see what happens. You're next in line for the title fight. So we had to wait 5 months for Shevchenko, I think, to fight, was it I think at that time or somebody. And then so she fought I. We had already been sitting on the shelf for 5 months. They booked our fight in June. It was supposed to be in Perth, Australia. We accepted the fight. We were going to wait. So we were going to be on the shelf for, 6-7 months before she fought again. And then the world ended and the apocalypse started, all this bullshit. And so she had to sit out a little bit longer, but we kept each month. It was like, well, we're going to push it back to July. And then Shevchenko ended up having, I think it was a knee surgery or some kind of surgery. So basically then they said end of August, then August turned into September. So now we just got the call the other day that it wouldn't be till probably December, which
fuck that.
Kind of sounds like an indefinite thing. JoJo's been itching to fight. She's watching all these girls get 2 and 3 fights around her. She loves to fight. She's a fighter that works better when she's active and staying busy. So, you know, and with this pandemic and all this crazy shit, being locked up in the house with me and, you know, like it's either she goes and fights somebody or she fucking fights me. And I don't want to deal with that right now. So, you know, like so it's better for her career, better for, you know, like all of us, everybody, it's everybody's safety. So it was funny because we got that call the day before that says not going to be till December. And then literally the next day, Maya's opponent got the Rona too. So I didn't give it to her. I didn't do it. I didn't set this up. And then we said, yeah, you know, fuck it. We'll take it.
Now, Jake Ellenberger moved to Vegas. He says he's banned from Syndicate. What's going on with you two? Why is there beef? What happened?
Wow, that was manufactured.
Yeah.
He's not banned from Syndicate.
He's been at Extreme Couture training. But
yeah,
why are you picking Extreme over Syndicate? Syndicate, what's going on, Jake?
Adam, it seems like you're a bit of a fire starter, right? Yeah.
To be fair, he was always a couture guy. He was a couture guy back in the day. He was, you know, and let's be honest, like if you come to Vegas, you're either going to be at Syndicate or you're going to be at Coutures. And it's just tomato, whichever people prefer, you know, like.
Jake, what's your beef with Wood? Did you guys have a girlfriend back in the day? You guys banged the same girl? What happened?
Oh, we've never had beef. No.
All right.
I don't even fight anymore. I'm retired.
I mean, we might have banged the same girl, but I didn't know we had beef over it. But
wow, Jake, this is shots fired here. The shots fired. So Jake, so you said that you would run the gym, like you'd go to Syndicate and beat everybody. Nobody's on your level over at Syndicate. Is that true? Do you think Wood? Is that what's going on?
Oh.
I mean, it's quite possible. Like, I mean, I don't know. We can get, you know, I got Cerrone out here right now and a couple of the guys that might argue about it, but like, Jake's a tough-ass dude, man. He probably could come in here and, you know, I don't want to start being old and beat up. He could beat me up for sure. So
I'm retired, my man. I'm good, brother.
So now Cerrone, you guys went to the Cerrone Ranch for a couple weeks?
Yeah, I spent about a month out there for his last camp for Pettis, and you know, I've known Cowboy for a long time, years and years and years and years, and he's come to Vegas. He always comes into the gym, and we've been friends for a while, and always I've flirted around with working together, and you know, I've held pads for him before, and it just the virus. You know, we had the pandemic and all that shit break out. And so I'm just sitting around and he got a fight booked. He was on that first UFC card. So it just came out where I was able to go out to the ranch for a month and spend time there. And he's actually out here this week working, and then I might go back out there next week. And so we're, you know, building. That's my mom back there. She obviously has no care about the live interview. I'm still on a live interview. She just doesn't care. But anyway, so there's that.
Jake, you gotta run?
Sorry, man. I gotta run.
All right, take care, brother.
Good to see you guys.
Peace.
You're the best. You're the best. So
I can be honest. That dude come over here, he got the shit kicked out of him. Nobody likes him.
I heard that. Now, is it hard, by the way, because I know that I try to help my wife with her work and she fucking yells at me. I couldn't imagine. She tries to give me jokes. I'm just like, I mean, obviously, you know, fighting, you're like, I think the most underrated, best trainer in the game. But is it hard having a fiance who's a fighter?
Dude, it's you know, I can separate it. That's something I've been that I'm very good at, is being able to do that. But no matter what, over time, you do get stuck into that kind of situation. It's hard in a lot of reasons. Obviously, I don't want to see her ever get beat up. Unfortunately, you know, that's not happened. So when, you know, the 4 fights I've had her, she's been very, very, you know, come out of the fights unscathed and won, except for a close decision. You do, I think me and her, and JoJo's one of the hardest working, sweetest people. Like she's awesome, dude. She comes home after training all day, cooks, cleans, dinner, breakfast. I mean, that woman takes care of me top to bottom. She's amazing. So like, and I try to do the same, whatever I can reciprocate, and then coaching. And we have a very good relationship when it comes to being able to like split the two. You do, no matter what, run into those type of things, especially if it's, Aunt Flo comes to town and, those type of things where it's, the end of the month, things get a little bit,
right.
I spit my coffee once a month or something, but no, it's really not been hard. Like we've had a really, really good go, and we've kind of, we come in and we've had our fights here and there, but I mean, honestly, in the 3 years that we've been together, we've probably had 3 arguments. So they were all.
Did being on VH1's couples therapy help you?
No, not that didn't do. That didn't do anything for me. That has not helped catapult me into being having good relationships. But I actually,
you were on that show for the right reasons. It seemed like every time you and Jenna Jameson were on that show, you had a different syndicate shirt and a syndicate hat and syndicate pants.
That was written into the contract. Like, listen, I went on that. It was a fun thing to do. We had kind of a stupid, chaotic year or two there between that situation that came up, and we did it, and actually, I won't lie, I did learn about some things. I am not now, but I was kind of a shithead, known for being a shithead when it came to relationship stuff. So I've gone down a different path these days.
And Jenna's sober too, which is good because
she's doing real well. She went off, met somebody nice, and had a kid, and she's sober, and she's doing her thing. So
no, I remember you came to my show and she was not with it, and I was like, is anyone else? I felt like I was on a different planet. I'm like, we're backstage. It's me, you, Chiesa, I think Phil Darce, and Jenna Jameson. And Jenna was on some kind of pills or something. And I was like, what is going on right now? But it's still Jenna Jameson. So, I mean, that's still like,
and that's another thing too, is I've known her for a while too, before all that shit went down. We were friends and we had communicated for, quite some time. And we came from the same circles back in Arizona and things. And it was a situation where it just seemed like a fun thing to do, and it turned into a kookier thing to do, and then it got real kooky, and then it just, we both decided to step away.
No, I think it's good. I think JoJo's the one. I honestly think so. She's.
Dude, I honestly, man, like, you know me for a while, and obviously you bust my balls about the stuff, but I have. She is the woman that has for sure changed my ways, and for the better in all reasons. She's fantastic with my child. I couldn't even imagine another woman taking care of my kid the way she does, and he loves her to death, and me. It's a great relationship, man. So yeah, I'm gonna try.
She's hot. She could fight. Her voice is amazing. She's got tats. I mean, what more do you want? So good for you. And she's cool. She's got a huge heart. So I'm on Team JoJo and Team Wood. Now, I gotta say, some of the people you trained, I remember you had a cast on your arm. And I said, what happened? You said, I was holding the pads for Ngannou. How hard does that dude kick and punch? And what's training that guy like?
I mean, everything that you would see and think how hard he kicks and punches is true. He's a savage. That guy is, I mean, he has power like none other power that you could possibly imagine. And I'm not going to say he broke my hand off of, or my wrist off of punching. The dude took me down while we were doing pads. Like when I work pads for MMA, I get involved. We go takedowns, we go fence work, we get up. The guy blasted through on a takedown, and the next thing I know, when I got up, my wrist was broken. So, but I did finish the round, so that was okay. I actually finished the whole session. Went and got a cast, and then just kept going the next day. Put a pad over it and go. And that's not the first time, man. Like I pride myself on sacrificing my body for my team and my family, and if I can physically strap a pad on and get going, there's not much that's going to keep me out of there. But that dude, you know, I'm real happy that he found a good home and he's working with some good guys, because I don't know that I could take that kind of abuse.
Oh my God. No, I mean, but your gym, by the way, is just, it's like, you know, when I'm in Vegas, I go to your gym. The characters in your gym are so funny, but it's like a home for like homeless, professional, amazing fighters. Like you have like Serena DeJesus, who's awesome, who's an Invicta, who has autism. Then you got Mike Pyle with the mullet from out of Tennessee.
We still haven't figured out what's wrong with him, but there's definitely something wrong with him.
Then you have like the Monkey God, who's fighting next week. I mean, that dude's undefeated jiu-jitsu guy who fights.
Weirdest fighter you will ever see in your life, and everybody, I guarantee, he's like 10 or 12-0 through amateur and pro, 6-0 pro. That dude is like, he's married, Mormon, nice little Mormon kid, married to a woman, very flamboyant, looks like he's like the nicest dude ever, and people like underestimate him. He is the craziest dude you will ever get in a ring with, and he will just savagely destroy you, and that's what he's been doing. So he finally just got signed. So next Tuesday, watch Jordan Levitt, the Monkey King. But yeah, we have a very, you know, one thing that differentiates us from a lot of the different gyms is I like to have a team and a family, you know, so I don't care about having, you know, I have 45 people on my mat today, you know, probably 7 or 8 people from the UFC on the mat. I like to build from within. I like to have a team. I like to have people that I want to have come over to my house and hang out and barbecue and build a good rapport with people. I don't need 1,000 people on the mat. It's nice. I will never say that, you know, like having that many people isn't good for the gym, but I like to have a team that I can control. I like to have a team, you know, I brought in Mike Pyle's now coaching here full time. This dude I've been with for 20 years. John Gunderson, assistant coach here too. Like, amazing guys, and we're really trying to do something different and do something special here, and you know, build some crazy ass fighters. And fortunately, I was just telling somebody earlier, you know, I've been able to help out in rebuilding some careers with like Roxanne, and you know, JoJo got here and she was on a losing streak, 0-2, and building that, you know. And I got Nico Montana in here now, and Emily Whitmire. You know, we've got a ton of awesome ladies here, and JoJo and Rox. We've got probably one of the strongest women's squads in the you know, in MMA right now. And just, you know, we're doing some good things, man. And gym's expanding again. I just picked up another 3,000 square feet. We're in a new location. Killing it, dude. It's doing good, man.
And then you got a bunch of Israeli guys just randomly like live there.
Yeah.
I don't even know where these guys are from, but it's just but then now, is it hard for you sometimes to like? I know that you had what's her name, the champ, the girl 135.
Valentina.
Yeah. No.
Amanda.
Yeah, Amanda Nunez comes in.
Yeah.
And then Chiesa comes in. Sometimes they have their own training camp, but they want your eyes behind them, kind of a thing, or.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You know, I've been in the sport of MMA for almost 25 years now, or 24 years. I don't want to age myself that much. And I've had a lot of relationships. Obviously, I've had a gym for 16 years now, so I've met so many people through on the way up. Amanda's one of those people that I've met. She came in my gym years and years. I think before she was even in the UFC, and she was in Invicta. And just the nicest, sweetest person I've ever met in my life. Every show I'd see her at, we'd always keep, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 talking, never changed. And she was the same way when she became the champ, you know. So whenever she comes to Vegas, you know, she'll even say her home away from home. She's awesome to work with. Her and Nina, and, you know, congratulations on their soon-to-be baby. Like, awesome people, haven't changed a bit, you know, and just relationships over the years. And the same thing with Chiesa. Started working with him a long time, and so whenever these guys are in town, it's just, it's great. Vegas happens to be a hub, and the UFC's here, so somebody's always here, you know. So it's great to work with these people.
No, you're killing the game, bro. And you're a nice guy, and you're a good coach, and you give a shit. You're one of the good guys. And you know, also, I think, look, Roxanne was on like a 7-fight losing streak. You turned her into an athlete, and she was murdering people and beating people that used to beat her. That's when you know somebody's good, when they can beat somebody that used to beat you. So I honestly think it's you, it's your eyes, it's the way you are with people, and I give you a lot of credit, man.
I appreciate it, man. You've always been a big supporter and very kind to me. So Thank you. I always appreciate
No
that.
worries.
Even if you talk shit, Twitter, and say about.
I want to come to the wedding. So,
yeah. We're working on trying to get that at the UFCPI. So that was the plan. We're going to try to get married there. I think, you'll hear about it after this fight. So if we can get the pandemic, we're going to go all in and see if we can get the wedding there.
Say hi to John. Okay, ABC. Okay. Well, listen, John, thank you so much. We and Doug, you're the best. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.
Good luck to JoJo this Saturday. I'm going to be rooting for her.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, brother.
Anytime.